TO Blaze.
Hey there, this is T.O. bringing you another Kerbal Space Program video. This will be the finale from my Astrophobia Career Mode playthrough. So in my last video, I brought some science points back to the surface of Kerbin, and I recovered them because I had never run those experiments before. So now I'm going to set up a second mobile processing lab, and I want to go back to the Mun, and this time I'll bring all the experiments back, hopefully back to the KSC, and load them into this mobile processing lab. So ditching the old design, going with something new with some of the new parts that you saw me just unlock. So definitely want to lower my center of gravity. Don't want to be so high up off the ground. Don't want to need one of those really long ladders if I can avoid it. Also got some new solar panels I can put on, and one with a nicer looking, more streamlined design, and should be a much better lab to use. A bigger, a much needed upgrade from the first generation lab that I put. So I don't need any of the deployable science. Don't even need a large antenna. Just need something enough to transmit all the science once the experiments have been run. So go ahead and purchase a scientist, which is awfully expensive. Hence the finale, which we'll talk more about in a second. And go ahead and park this lab with the scientists right next to the other one. So I have all my science being run at the same place. Nice and convenient. Probably got enough room in that other mobile lab, to be honest. I just wanted a new one that didn't look quite as ridiculous. And now it's time to go back to the Mun. And first, let me nab a contract. One of the only contracts that I can do easily and quickly to get some credits, which has kind of been the challenge in this whole playthrough, is financing all the fun missions that I want to do. So back at the Mun, back with my lander, grabbed one of those expendable science modules, the Mystery Goo and the Science Junior. Go ahead and touch down. And doesn't matter if I've run these experiments already, which I have not. So this would have been a good candidate to take back to the surface and recover. But I'm not going to recover it. I'm going to bring the experiments and store them in the new mobile lab. That's the plan anyway. So here you see me just hopping over to another biome. I can't run the Mystery Goo or Science Junior, obviously, but I can run the other experiments. So I'm running those and try to get back up into orbit pretty soon. I think there's a third biome that I can probably hit without too much fuel. So, hit my hotkey, run the experiments, and typical ascent up to the Mun station, although I'm not paying attention and my Apple Apps just got way out there. No big deal. I'm going to go ahead and circularize. And oops, accidentally changed vehicles. Now I'm back on the lander. And let's get our rendezvous with the station and transfer all this to one of the return vehicles. So I think I only have 2 return vehicles on that little science return module that I docked. So this would be the last time I can use that module, and I would have to ditch it, and I can send a new one if I chose. But you see, coming in on the Mun station, go ahead and select the docking port, and forgot to transfer all the experiments into this probe. So I was pretty disappointed when I got back to the surface of Kerbin and realized my mistake. But the probe functions beautifully, as did the first one. It's a little hard to get it out of the tube that it was shielded in, but I was able to use some physics time warp. I'm sorry, non-physics time warp to get the vehicles to separate. But you see my probes on a approach to Kerbin. I don't know quite how to plan my transfers so that I enter the atmosphere where I want. So the next best thing is just to get to Kerbin and circularize like I just did, and then now I can much more easily control my descent. So hopefully I'll get really close to the KSC, and I can use my pilot to go and fly out in a little airplane and collect the experiments which aren't actually in the probe. And I don't realize that until the pilot gets up to it. But landed relatively close. I'm happy with that, so I'm not even going to revert to my save and try to get closer. That's close enough. So I've still got my pilot parked in the plane. Let me just turn my engines back on. Turn down the runway. Don't need a whole lot of runway to take off. And let's fly out there. It is a little challenging to land, and I didn't want to be too aggressive, so I actually nailed this on one take. I didn't revert or anything. managed to land. I'm still kind of far out, but no worries. I can cruise at 30 or so meters per second without destroying the plane. So I'll just go ahead and coast the rest of the way and park facing the KSC. And here I realize my mistake. I click on the experiment storage unit and there are 0 experiments stored. So I'm gonna head back to the KSC, and at this point in the playthrough I realized this was going to be one of the last videos, and this will end up being the last video. Career mode's just not a great option for Astrophobia. You don't there's not a lot of opportunities to earn credits. The missions can get very expensive, and the Kerbonauts are very expensive to train and hire. So I'll probably redo this whole thing in science mode just for fun, and I probably won't post that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you've watched the whole series, thank you. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button, and I hope to post some new interesting content soon.